Hi, I'm Ryan, the clinical director at Onsite. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You meet someone, are attracted to them, have chemistry, and begin to get really curious about what a relationship with them may look like. As they become available, as they become more interested, your interest dies. Or you might be in a relationship and really noticing all the flaws of your partner and reflecting on your ex or someone that you just met and wondering if the grass is greener. If you connect to the challenge with consistent connection or wonder why, as other people open up, you close down, this is for you. In part one, we talked about anxious attachment, and today we're going to focus on avoidant attachment patterns. If you missed part one or want to listen to it again, you can find the information in the description below. As a reminder, or new for some folks, the attachment styles typically thought of are really 4 different styles. Secure attachment, which is this ability to maintain both connection and closeness with another, and separation and independence, which is really connection with ourselves. Anxious is this pursuit of another person and this fear of abandonment that can often drive that behavior. Avoidant being that sense of deeper safety in disconnection, and disorganized, having an inconsistent pattern in the way that I show up, in the way that I perceive, and a mix of many different features of the others. And it is really important to always remember that our attachment style is not the way that we show up all the time, everywhere, or forevermore. We may find that we show up in one of these in some relationships and yet have more of a sense of security in others. And we're really going to talk about why it is, what we can do differently, and a roadmap towards security and healing in all aspects of our life. So as we talked about before, the anxiously attached person is going to feel really threatened by that pull away and engage in this pursuit, in this draw towards the other person. On the flip side of that same coin is the avoidant person that can feel threatened in closeness and begin to devalue the importance of relationships and really overvalue this fierce independence, have a fear of too much closeness, being engulfed by another person or losing themselves in another, and beginning to shut down their emotional experience to create a sense of safe connection. And if we grew up in a system where connection was unavailable, then we had to learn how to become independent and meet our own needs. So there may be this learned worry or this learned fear of the needs I have cannot be met by another. And if someone wants to be in too close of a relationship with me, it's going to come at a real cost to myself. And so we begin to protect ourselves through separation and shut down closeness, connection, and our own emotional experience. So if we think about attachment as this template of relationships, not that we are creating on our own, but that we are given. And if we are given a template of relationships where connection is not freely given, connection is absent, and we really have to embrace independence, we also have to learn to create connections for ourselves. And so when someone approaches us with too much eagerness or too much availability, it is so unfamiliar and can feel so overwhelming and threatening to a system that has been primed to have fierce independence and agency. It can actually feel really disempowering to have someone pursue. And so in adult relationships, what this can look like is having a partner who becomes really emotionally available and suddenly your attraction dies, or wondering about all of the flaws that you see in this person in front of you and comparing them to someone in your past or someone that you barely know, as though that other person, even if when we're in that situation, we then see their faults, but from this distant perspective, begin to see them with higher regard. So how do you have a sense of control over the connection that you have in your life and not lose yourself in the process? When we are young, we don't have immense control over the care, the connection, the affection that we are given. And yet we have to learn to persevere through any circumstance. So if we have not been given the support, the safety, the connection that we all deserve, we're going to try to find our own agency, our own empowerment, begin to take charge in creating relationships versus just welcoming relationships. So we can see then through time that struggle to welcome relationships in as they are coming towards can feel like it really contradicts with what I have been taught about how I'm supposed to be with other people. What we often find in childhood for those who have an avoidant attachment pattern is either that their caregivers were unwilling, unavailable, or incapable of providing the care and affection that we all deserve. We might also find that we lived in a system where there was so much offered by one person, it became very overwhelming for our system, and we had to shut down in order to persevere. We had to disconnect from our own emotions because the emotions of another person took up all of the air in the room. And if we really think about every animal having this key to survival, ours being our tears. If when I cry, there is no one there to meet my tears, I'm gonna learn to tend to them myself. Similarly, if there's someone else whose tears are louder or bigger, I'm going to disconnect from them and again, tend to myself on my own. So the core of this pattern is I am responsible for my own needs. If I were to name them, someone else would not be able to meet them. If they were to truly get close to me, then what might happen to us or to me? And this worry of closeness not being intimacy, not being safe, not being connection, but closeness really feeling threatening. This might describe you, it might describe someone that you're in a relationship with, and to be on the other side of this, it can feel really confusing to wonder why, as you step closer, there's a sense of a pull away. You might also, if you are the avoidant person, have this comfort in space and notice this draw towards connection when connection is beyond arm's reach, and yet wonder why, as it gets closer, I get less comfortable, or I want more space, or my interest just seems to dwindle all the time. We might engage in patterns that either damage the relationship, that pull us away from the relationship, or we end up in what is called the dance, which is one of us is pursuing as the other withdraws, and then we change that role, and we end up in this process of never fully meeting each other and wondering, can something just be different? So let's do this exercise together. Take a moment to think about the last 3 to 5 relationships that you have been in, whether they were short-term, long-term, just thinking through the past recent relationships and noticing and noting down, when did you feel closest? Did your sense of desire for them, attraction to them, or closeness to them change when they became truly available? Did it change when they were unavailable? And take a moment to think through whether or not your desire for connection with them possibly peaked when availability was most uncertain and became most challenging when availability was just freely given. And notice as you think through the cycle that you had in your recent relationships, are there times when also your attention was pulled towards the idea or the fantasy of other relationships? And did that tie at all to how available or unavailable your partner at the time was? If any of that feels true for you, your nervous system may be sensing closeness itself as a threat. At the core of each of our attachment patterns is an underlying fear. For the avoidant attachment person, we may have the fear of engulfment, a sense that you may lose yourself in the relationship, a fear of being trapped, being stuck and unable to leave, a fear of disappointment, as though you will be let down as everyone else has let you down, a fear of being seen. If they really knew you, they wouldn't stay, or a fear of needing. If you were to need people, then you would be vulnerable to them. For someone who has this pattern, they may feel comfortable or even complacent with how things are happening in their life. They may also be wondering if there's more that's available to them. And so what I really want to reaffirm is that all of this is protective. If you have grown up in a system and lived now as an adult in a system where closeness felt overwhelming, threatening, inconsistent, you have found a creative way to take care of yourself. And I want to offer that you have choice in what you can do going forward. And even as we tend to and heal the needs that we had that were never met, that we so deserve to have been met, we may still find we value independence. And yet having that be a choice versus a reaction is really at the core of true empowerment and agency. So when someone is avoiding in reaction to a fear of closeness or a fear of abandonment if closeness, true closeness were to happen, they may be protecting themselves from that weight of the fear or the weight of the hurt. They may also at the same time be missing out on the richness of relationships, on the ability to connect. We are all primed for connection. And like each of these attachment patterns, the origin story is built in connection. And so now having a pattern that doesn't allow the connection into our life that we have always been seeking, it's not truly about the other person. It's about the thing that I have always deserved to have met that I didn't get, and I deserve to now, if I can, tend to navigate the fear of closeness. You will not lose yourself in connecting to another person. You may actually begin to get to know parts of yourself that you didn't even know before. So now let's walk through an exercise that you can begin to practice the next time this old fear, this old pattern is beginning to come up in your life. So the next time that you notice a situation that is reminding you of that old ability to shut down, to pull away, or to withdraw, take a moment to pause. Just pause, and instead of turning away, turn inward and just get curious about what is coming up. What is the sensation? What is the feeling? Maybe even what is the fear? And acknowledging that what is in front of me may not be threatening, though it feels that way. And this may just be reminiscent of that old attachment template that I have been carrying for a very long time. There is nothing wrong with me for having that reaction, and yet tending to it gives me more of an opportunity for choice. And invite yourself, if you feel it is possible, if you feel it may serve you, to stay just 10% longer. When someone says they want to talk about the relationship, can you notice what comes up and stay in that conversation 10% longer? When you notice a flurry of text messages coming in, instead of turning off your phone, taking a moment to pause, to notice, and staying with yourself. That does not mean always staying in the relationship. It means staying in relationship with yourself so that you can tend to that feeling that has always been there, the needs that all of us have, and begin to have a lot more choice in your life. And so the invitation for you is just to expand your capacity for closeness, even 1% at a time. So if you connect to this and you are the person who has possibly an avoidant attachment pattern, or you're in relationship with someone with an avoidant attachment pattern, feel free to look at the programs that you can find in the link provided. We work with folks on all ends of the spectrum of attachment. On any one of these patterns, we may show up in a way that feels less than loving to our partner. And I really affirm that the intention behind the action is not to be unloving. It is to be self-protecting. And if you have been self-protecting for a while and also want to love better, love yourself well and love others well, and begin to imagine what that might look like in a way that feels true and authentic and without losing yourself, there is so much possible, and you are part of designing the relationships that you get to welcome into your life. If you want us to be part of that journey with you, we are happy to, and either way, we are cheering you on and know that so much is possible in your future. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan. And that was Why You Lose Interest the Moment They Start Liking You Back.